gift up here before?
Yeah.
You did a gift before? You know, you were just a different person than the person who came here a few years ago. Song because it summarizes what we do here. We take this greater vision and we transform everything until we become that idea that we've been looking for. And when people come here, they get to be different. Have you noticed that people come here and all of a sudden they see things like, I'm happier than I've ever been before. My world is going better than it's ever gone. I have more money, I'm healthier, I'm younger, I'm clearer. Everything's going to where I want them to go. We get to do that. And it's not me, it's not John, as much as I'd really like to claim that. It's us, it's the energy of this community. It's the way that we hold ourselves to a higher level, to live and be, to think in this world. And it's not always easy. You know, every Sunday we bring practitioners up here and say, you should go to these people and let them work with you. And they've gone through at least 4 years, sometimes 10 years of training and practice to be practitioners. And once people are practitioners here, I'm a little bit blunt comes to mind, but I would prefer the word intimate with them in terms of my willingness to be direct and say things that I never really would say from stage. I had a practitioner show up, go through classes, and there would be this dance. And I don't know if some of you do it. I'm so clear, I absolutely know the presence of the divine, that all is perfect, whole, and complete, that everything is abundant and wonderful and in order, and that's what I know. And then there's the other side that would go, that's wrong, this isn't working out, I don't like this. Do you ever do that flip-flop? So this particular practitioner was flip-flopping. And I would look at them and say, put your practitioner hat back on. Meaning come back into alignment of the truth that you know to be. Don't allow yourself to get down into the squalor, into the effect and the condition of it all. Put your practitioner hat back on. That was my mantra. Put your practitioner, and finally I looked at this person one day and I said, if you don't get that practitioner hat back on your head, I'm going to take a staple gun and staple it to your skull. That was a metaphor. To say, get your head screwed on straight. See the world the way you want it to be. That once we've achieved certain levels, doesn't mean we're all enlightened or going to float off into the ethers, but there's a level that we hold ourselves to that says, I am committed to see the light, to see the freedom, to see God in the midst of it all. I am committed to that, and I'm going to do it 24/7, not just when I show up at the center, not just when someone comes and says, I want to have a session. I am committed to live my life that way, to see with our God eyes. And when we see the world, you know, I love that Bette Midler song, From a Distance, that when we see the world as God sees the world, we see it as perfect, whole, and complete. And when we look in the mirror and see ourselves, and I know this is dualistic languaging, but it's for the point, so hang in there with me. When we can look in the mirror and see ourselves the way that God sees us, then the only thing we can see is perfection, is health, is wholeness, beauty, joy, prosperity, success, love. That's the only thing that we can see. And one of the ways that I look at it inside of myself is that if I'm looking out in the world and seeing things that are less than perfect, whole, and complete, I am seeing with my not God eyes. I don't want to get them into Barbara's eyes or my ego eyes or my human eyes. I don't really want to go there. They're just not the highest eyes I can see. And so it is my job at that moment to put on my God eyes. To put on my God eyes and look anew and look fresh at the experiences in life, and to see how only good can come from this, to see how this is a blessing in disguise, to see how no matter what they say, that this is perfect, whole, and complete. And when we do that, everything changes. When we do that, then the outer reflects the inner, because remember, the outer is simply a reflection. So if we're looking at the outer and we're judging it and we're criticizing it and we're feeling less than because of the outer, well, my God, that's our outer. We put it there because of what we reflected out into the world. And so if we want to change the outer, we have to change the inner. And one of the easiest ways I know of to change the inner is to put on your God eyes. To look into that situation long enough and deep enough until you see the presence of Spirit there. Until you see that it's perfect, whole, and complete, that there is only love, that all is well, that we live in an abundant universe where there is more than enough for all. To look at that circumstance until it changes, and to look at it from the highest level that we've got. Put on your God eyes. And when we do that, we end up with a room full of people who can say, I've never been happier. My life is better than it's ever been. And where we have miracles be an everyday occurrence. So I want to share a story with you. I knew something was wrong because in the Monday night class, she kept crying, sobbing. She didn't tell me what was wrong, and really it's none of my business unless someone wants me to know. But even though she was crying in Monday night class, that wasn't the limit of it. When she volunteered to come help in the offices on her day, she would cry at the desk. And she would just kind of walk around crying, and it wasn't the happy, joy-filled crying. And I knew that whenever it was mine to know or to do something, that would be revealed to me. And so I came into the office one day, and there she was crying. And I said, do you want to talk? And she said, yes. She said, I itched. And so I went to the dermatologist. And the dermatologist said, you know, itching could be a sign of renal failure. And so the dermatologist ran some blood work and ran some labs and said, you are in kidney failure. Not good news. Not good news. And she kept saying, you know, I have a medical background. I don't feel like I'm in kidney failure. I don't look like I'm in kidney failure. But the doctors in the lab said I'm in kidney failure. And so she went to her primary physician, and they took more blood and ran more labs and said, you are in renal failure. And she said, well, she knew what this meant. She said, I want to try some alternative therapies. I want to try some Chinese medicine. I want a couple of months to try to work this out without looking at dialysis or transplants or things like that. And the doctor looked at her and said, we don't have 2 months. Now, when I heard that, I said, excuse me, whose 2 months do these belong to? They're your 2 months to do with whatever you want to do. So the doctor ran more labs and said, you're in renal failure, you need to go to a specialist. And this woman said, I know what this means, and I am not going to do dialysis, and I am not going to be put on a list for a kidney transplant. I'm not doing that. I don't think I'm in renal failure. I don't think I'm in kidney failure. I just don't think that. And so the doctor said, okay, we can wait 3 weeks, and then we'll run the labs again and see if they've changed. Now, it was a week after that 3-week wait that I found myself sitting in my office with Sandra Knight. And she cried. And we talked about her life and how great it was and how there's no need to struggle anymore, and so we don't have to create something to struggle with. We talked about how it's okay to allow ourselves to have a great life after a life of working and struggle and creation, that now we can sit back and really just accept all of the good in life, that we don't have to die. It's not over, it's just beginning. And so I treated for her, and I called Amika, And Amika got all the practitioners on board, and they don't know the details. The practitioners just know, please know health and wholeness for Sandra. Great, that's easy to do. And so we knew health and wholeness, and we knew health and wholeness, and we knew health and wholeness. And 2 weeks later, she had a sonogram that they make you wait for days to get the results. But they said the sonogram came back that there was nothing wrong with her kidneys. And then the 3-week lab test came back that said there's nothing wrong with her kidneys. This group, the high consciousness that we hold, that we could reach out in love and get hold of you and say, no, we're not walking down that path. We're not going there. There is only health. There is only wholeness. There is only love. And it took all of 2 weeks to show up where every test shows it and every doctor knows it. There's something that happens when we see with our God eyes, when we can look so clearly into a circumstance that it's no longer an illness or a disease, it's health and wholeness. When we can look at discord until we find peace. When we can look at lack until we see abundance. That is our job, to put on our God eyes no matter what is going on. And then when someone is in this room or when someone's watching on the web, all 10,000 of you, there's something that happens. It's the same way that we can take little Tyre, Larry's grandson, with sickle cell anemia diagnosis, and all of a sudden he starts making perfect red blood cells again, something that the doctors have never heard of. It is how we have lives that are miraculous, how we have people that say, I can have the life that I want to live. I can be happy. I can be healthy. I can be abundance. I can do what I want to do. I can be who I want to be. I can live the life I was meant to live. We were not put here to suffer. And if you are living in hell and suffering, I would suggest you don't have God eyes on. You may want to look at that. What eyes do you have on? Maybe you have on your mother's eyes. Maybe you have on your teacher's eyes that said you weren't smart enough, you couldn't do it, you're the wrong gender, you've got the wrong orientation, you're the wrong age, you're the wrong race, you can't do it. And what I want you to know is, yes, you can. You can do it. Because you can do it. None of us stands alone. Whether it's a 5% chance of survival, whether it's a doctor leaving a message on someone's voicemail saying, if you don't have this, you only have 3 months to live. Whatever it is that may look so scary, us together, we can do this because we see with the eyes of God. Because we are the presence of the divine. If we can't see the way God sees, we just have our eyes closed. So open your eyes. Whether you're a licensed practitioner or not, put your hat on. Super glue it. Don't ever take it off. No matter how tempting it is. No matter what the circumstances are that go boo in the night, that say, no, I can't. Honest to God, you can. Every molecule in your experience is manifested at the quantum level right now. Every organ in your body, the amount of money that you have, whether or not the deal goes through, the people in your world, your car, your house, your state of mind, your clarity, your self-esteem, everything is manifest at the level of now. And so no matter what has happened in the past, God is all there is. And it's not real anymore. Life changes just like that. And it always changes as a reflection of the inner at the outer. And when you see the inner, when you see that presence of spirit as you, then the outer can only reflect God in form, in all of its perfection, in all of its wholeness, and in all of its love. Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you, Sandra, for providing great material. So let's have our ambassadors come forward, those that are going to make welcomers. That's what we're saying. Where are welcomers? There you are. Okay. So if you are here for the first time, we want to welcome you. We're not going to embarrass you. We're just going to hand you a little card. So all you have to do is raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're here for the first time. Thank you so much. We got folks down the center aisle that are waiting for it. Okay, I want to acknowledge Michelle, who's here from Center for Spiritual Living, Santa Rosa, California. Thank you for being here. And let's raise our hands again here in the center. Deb? Okay, I know. You saw somebody over here. Fantastic. Welcome. We're delighted you're here. There we go. Now we're picking up steam. All right, very good.
That gentleman who just moved here from Arizona.
Who's here just from Arizona? Welcome. Excellent. Thank you for being with us. Ah, Prescott, Arizona. Fantastic. Awesome. And we're going to invite you to Prescott later this summer.
And I'm from Sarasota.
Okay, so you're going to be like getting something in writing from me? Okay. Well, thank you for being here. That's wonderful.
Center for Spiritual Living in Sarasota.
Sarasota. Fantastic. Well, thank you for filling out the form, letting us know your name. We'll tell you about some of the wonderful stuff. We promise not to inundate you with information, but we'll keep you informed about what we're doing, even while you're back home. That's great. Thank you so much for being here. Let's have our prosperity acceptors come forward. I'm going to get out our checks. This other one that came in the mail. Thank you very much. And take out what you're getting. And I like to hold them in my hand close to my heart when I know the truth. And what I know is that there is a presence and power that dwells in, through, and as all things, everything, in the entire cosmos, for this presence is bigger than that. And it's as present and personal as that. It's our money. It's our time. It's our energy. It's all of that love that fills the inner spaces of everything. And in this moment, as we focus upon the gifts that we give, we know that we bless this center by financially supporting it. And we know that this center blesses us in our lives and all of the thousands of lives of people who join us online. We are so grateful to know this powerful work continues to be done in such an extraordinary way. And that dynamic flow of spirit continues to touch and transform so many lives in so many places. So knowing that these things we say are so, I invite us all together to repeat our investment affirmation. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift flows with love as it touches and blesses the world, and so it is. these baskets, my heart is filled with gratitude for all the ways that so many support this center. The gifts that come into these baskets are blessed. The gifts that come in through the mail are blessed. The ones that are transferred electronically through the internet are blessed. All of these ways that people support this center here in Asheville, North Carolina, and around the world blesses and multiplies the awareness of the presence in each of our lives. I know that only good comes to us as we do this good work, as we remember the truth of who we are and spread that awareness through our lives and so many others. And knowing that this is so, we simply let it be all that it is, growing and prospering as it moves through life. And together we say,
And so it is.